Hi guys, Top Hops here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at every single retro toy Funko Pop in my collection. So let's get started! And now the first ones I want to start with here are the Rock'em Sock'em robots. I gotta say, both of these go together really well. The only thing that I'm a little bit sad about is that they didn't do an exclusive or maybe some sort of chase where they have their heads popped up. That would have been sick. And I mean, here's the thing, Funko could still do it because these are only from 2020, so not that long ago. I hope they do more with these guys. Or maybe they could do some sort of Retro Toys moment where they're in the actual ring and it's got the two on the side, and I don't know if it'd be playable, probably not, but it still would be amazing if they did that entire thing. And if you guys are curious, I believe the Red Rocker and Blue Bomber are the exact same sculpt. The only thing that's different is the backside of them that has the name, and that's about it. Now let's get into the only G.I. Joe retro toy I've got in the collection. I used to have more of them, but cut down on them a little bit because they were making way too many of them. And the one that I've got here is the Director Destro that I actually just got recently. This one's pretty cool because of the amount of detail it's got, and now that I've got this one, I kind of want to go back and get some of the original ones again, but I don't know. There are like 10 or 15 of them, and I'm not the biggest fan of G.I. Joe. I mean, I enjoy the characters, but I don't know every single thing about them. So I think having the more unique and exclusive ones in the collection is probably the way to go for me. And this one here is definitely a unique one, especially with the way the glasses are, as well as the briefcase and the burning money in his hand. Oh, and for anybody curious, this one still might be available at your local GameStop. It came inside of a collector's box with some pretty interesting stuff. And now next up, guys, we've got this one here, the Mr. Monopoly Beauty Contest. And now I do want to let you guys know the other Mr. Monopoly is not on this list because it's actually part of the Pop board games. And now I'm going to be honest, I don't know why they started with board games. They totally should have just done them in the retro toys, but I'm guessing they figured that out after they created the character and then just completely scrapped the line. Oh, and something that I really enjoy about the box for Mr. Monopoly Beauty Contest is on the backside you can actually see the original community chest card. Now let's get into all of the TMNT figures, and there's kind of like two categories going on here. With the first category here being the original action figures, and there are 4 of them in my collection, even though there's of course the 4 Turtles as well as Casey Jones and then a couple exclusives, and if you guys want to take a look at all of them, here they are. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why I didn't get more of the Turtles when they first released, but at least I've got Mikey in the collection, which is definitely a nice one. And then of course I do have Splinter, and I remember a lot of people were complaining about this one because of the way the eyes were being complete white, but that's what Pops are. What do you expect? And then of course I've got Casey Jones, which is definitely a unique one. Him with the hockey stick as well as the mask, it looks really well done. Then on the far side here we've got Metalhead, and if I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know much about this character. Actually, out of all of them, I probably know the least about him. But he still looks pretty neat, and that's why I picked him up. I figured it was a unique character that I've never seen before, so why not? Let's grab him. And then everybody, the other half of the Turtles were these 3 here, and they're all Comic-Con exclusives, and this is all I've got so far. And I know that there are 2 more Turtles coming, I just haven't picked them up yet. Actually, I lied. I ordered them off the Funko shop, they just haven't arrived yet, and those 2 would be Raphael as well as Mikey, and then I've got the entire set. Oh, and a little while ago, I was trying to guess which character this one was based off of, and apparently they're all different Power Rangers, so this is actually the Green Ranger and not some Power Ranger villain. And then when it comes to these 2 here, we've got Donatello as the Purple Ranger, and well, actually, wait, hold on a second. He's not a Purple Ranger. He's maybe the Black Ranger or Yellow? I'm not exactly sure. Because for a second there, I was thinking there's a Purple Ranger, but there definitely is not, and I guess he's wearing that black and yellow suit, so you guys let me know, what do you think? But then when it comes to Leonardo, we can definitely tell that he is the Blue Ranger, especially because he's got the blue mask and the blue suit. It works really well. Now everybody, let's get into a bit of a weird one. This is the Great Garloo, limited to 1,000 pieces over at New York Comic Con last year. And now if you guys don't know who this is, I don't really blame you because it's a super old toy, and I remember the first time I saw it was on American Pickers. They had a little bit about it, and Mike seemed really excited about it. And so because of that, when Funko released it, I knew I had to pick this one up. And I also have the Soda, which I haven't got the chase for yet, but I'm still on the hunt for it. And literally the only thing that this toy did was it would pick up stuff, and I don't even know if it would pick up stuff or maybe the arms would just move up and then maybe they would go in a little bit to hold things. I'm not exactly sure. Like, there really wasn't much going on here. I'm pretty sure this was like a 50s or 60s toy, somewhere around there. And so I thought it was really funny when Funko created this one because it was something you would never expect as a Pop. Then everybody, we've got this one here, the Furby Tiger. Another really great one, especially because it hardly even looks like a Pop. The only thing that I'm a little bit bummed about is that they put Furby Tiger on the front of this, so I assume that they were going to be making more Furbies in the future, but this is the only one we've got so far. I mean, Funko, could we get like a purple or blue one or something? Also, I haven't read the back of this box in a while, and it seems a little bit creepy depending on how you read it. Like, let me read the first sentence here. When you take a Furby home, you will never be alone. It almost sounds like a horror movie. Oh, and I didn't even read the second line. The more you play, the more they do. Furby will keep amazing you. Ooh. And funny enough, I used to have a Furby when I was younger. It was the newer ones that they released in like the early 2000s, and then my mom actually had an original one, and it's too bad because I remember, oh, have I ever told this story? I don't know if I should tell this story, but I almost set our house on fire because of the Furby. I don't know why. I decided it was a really good idea to put him on top of the lamp because when you did, it would almost like make him glow and have like a bit of like light shining through. It looked pretty good. But then I left him up there too long and his butt caught on fire. We still have it somewhere around here. I'll show you eventually. And anyways, let's talk about this one here, the Trouble Board. And I don't really know why they called it the Trouble Board because sure, he's holding one, but it's actually more of the piece that you play as. And I gotta say, this one here was one of my favorites when they first announced it, just because you can actually see the little popping trouble, I guess like dice roller, I don't know, because it wasn't like a conventional one where you literally just roll into like a little cup or something. You literally press down on it and it swaps around. And I thought that was really unique for a game, and that's why I used to love playing this one when I was younger, so when they announced this, I definitely had to grab it right away. Oh, and now here's another really great one, the Play-Doh container, which is practically a life-size Pop. Actually, now that I think about it, this might even be a little bit bigger than a life-size figure because of how big, I don't know, it's probably similar. Oh, and something that I really enjoy about the Play-Doh one, as well as a lot of the other retro toys that Funko's done, is that they put stuff in their hands. So for this one, it's got like a cutout of a star with like a little bit of Play-Doh in the middle, and they've done that for a few others as well, like the Trouble one, actually, that we just talked about, where he's holding the board in his hand. Like, that little bit of extra detail really does go a long way, and to have that Play-Doh cutout, it's super nice. Oh, and I also forgot about this. He's got the scissors in his other hand. Alrighty, now let's get into another group. I've got these two here, Mr. Potato Head mixed up, as well as Mrs. Potato Head. Funny enough, I don't actually have the normal Mr. Potato Head in my collection. The only one that I've got is the mixed up version, which I think is the cooler one, but I should probably get the original one too. And then with the Mrs. Potato Head, she's got the purse in her hand as well as the little visor, and I feel like both of these characters would go really well in a Toy Story collection, so if you've got these, pop them out of the box and throw them with your Rex or something. Oh, and then on the back side here, I want to point this out because I did find it kind of funny, and I think I talked about it when they first released, but look at the Mrs. Potato Head. Doesn't her face kind of look like a Muppet? Maybe it's the eyes, I don't know, but there's definitely something weird going on here. I could definitely see it being like a Zoe, or maybe like the same nose as Elmo, something. Oh, and now everybody, we've got, I think, the newest retro toy that I've got in my collection, the one that I literally just picked up at New York Comic Con last week. It is the Rubik's Cube, another one of my favorites. Like, seriously, who expected Funko to make a Rubik's Cube? And also, with this one here, it does kind of bug me a little bit because it is mixed up and kind of like turned. I wish I could just fix it, you know? But seriously though, a super fun one, and I'm hoping that they do make more stuff like this in the future, like the 8-ball. If you made an 8-ball Funko, I would 100% buy that. Oh, and it would be really cool if they somehow made it work, but that could be kind of weird because then there would be liquid inside. I don't know, but if you could make an 8-ball in general, I would seriously love that. Alright, now everybody, we've got another giant collection of them. I believe I've bought every single one of the Candyland figures. It's one of my favorite sets. Especially because when I was younger, and I believe I've talked about this before, I had the game on the computer. It was on like a CD, and you could put it in the disc slot, and I would play it all the time. It was seriously one of my favorites. And one time when I was playing, I remember my dad was sitting on the couch and I was on the family computer, and he had asked me not to print out the certificate that you get at the end of the game. Because for some reason, every single time that you finish, you could put your name in and then say, hey, congratulations, you won Candyland. And it printed in full color every single time. And so one day when I was playing, my dad was like, you better not print that. And I looked at him and just hit enter. And all you hear is super slow, and I swear we stared at that thing for like 5 minutes because of the amount of ink it printed. And so anyways, guys, let's take a look at the ones that Funko's created so far, and I'm hoping that they do make more in the future, like different colored player pieces. That would be nice. Especially because most conventions have different colors to go along with them, like Emerald City Comic-Con is green, San Diego Comic-Con is blue, New York Comic-Con for the most part, I would say maybe orange, because it's around like fall and Halloween. That one's a bit of a work in progress, but anyways, let's take a look at the Queen Frostine first, because this has some really great detail. Like with the way she's got the snowflake on the end of her wand, and just her dress in general is really well done. And then we've got Lord Licorice, definitely a neat one with the way he's got his cane, and this one was also a Target Con exclusive, which was last year, so a little while. This feels like I got this like yesterday. I don't know, it's been a lot. Like with the amount of figures that I pick up, it seriously does feel like this happened like a couple months ago, not an entire year ago. Then we've got Plumpy, and this is another really great one. And see guys, this one is a complete green character exclusive to Emerald City Comic-Con. He's also eating the, is it a plum? Because he's in the plum forest. I think that's what it is. I'll be honest, I haven't played that game in a while, but now that I'm talking about it, I kind of want to. Then we kind of touched upon the player piece already, but this is definitely a unique one with how thin it is, and then it's got the base, and it really does look like it could have been pulled right off the board. And then, oh right, we've got Jolly, and he is definitely a cool character, especially because he doesn't really look like a Pop, because his head isn't really bigger. I mean, this is pretty much what he looks like in the game. And I mean, of course, his head is a little bit bigger, but when it comes to a Pop, it's really not that massive. Oh, and then everybody, we've got Mr. Mint. Definitely a nice one, and also very accurate to the game, especially with the way they did his smile. It's pretty much perfect. And I'm also really enjoying how he's got the peppermint flag. It's a nice detail. And then last but not least, guys, for the Candyland collection, we've got King Candy, and this one just has so much detail. It's also a super massive figure, and this is one of those ones that definitely could have been a 6-inch Pop. Because, I mean, look at him, guys. He's practically bursting out of the box. Now, everybody, let's get into this one here. Number 13 in the Retro Toys line, the glow-in-the-dark glow worm, exclusive to the Funko shop for their, I believe it was 12 Days of Funko. It's got the Christmas sticker, but there was a couple of them that had the Christmas sticker, but weren't for the 12 Days of Funko. I don't know. It was sometime around then. If you guys don't know, they do this thing around Christmas where they release a bunch of exclusives, and they've got this Christmas sticker, but for some reason, one of them didn't make it into the bundle, and I think it might have been this one. And now here's the thing, it doesn't really matter. As long as we're able to pick up the figure, that's all that really counts. And this one is definitely a neat one, especially because they made the glowworm glow in all the spots that make sense. Like his face, as well as I believe the star in the back there. It's really well done. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, I probably should have started with this next figure first, because it is number 1 in the Retro Toys line. It is Stretch Armstrong, and I don't just have the normal one. This is the Chase. And if you guys are curious what's different about it, it's actually a pretty unique Chase, because they did it where his arms are completely stretched to the bottom instead of, I guess, unstretched, if that's a word. And this is seriously a neat one. I'm glad I was able to find it relatively easily. I think I found it maybe even in a store without having to pay extra, but I also feel like I might have paid like 30 or 40 bucks for this. I'm not exactly sure. And like I mentioned earlier, I got this one like 2 years ago, so it's hard to keep track, but as long as I've got it in the collection, who really cares? Oh, and now here we go, guys. Another one of my favorites, the Barrel of Monkeys. I love how they're hanging out of the side of this thing. And I also really enjoy how it's kind of like opened up and there's some like crawling out of him, and then he looks super excited. I believe there's 3 altogether. Yeah, there is, which is definitely unique. And I'm also really enjoying how the monkeys are popified, and I wonder if you could like take those off of there if they've got like full ones, and we could do like a barrel full of monkeys but like a popified version. That could be kind of expensive because you'd have to buy a lot of this guy. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if all 3 of them are like the complete monkey. No, it looks like they would be. I don't know, this is a crazy idea I'm probably never gonna do, but it would be kind of fun to see. Ooh, and then everybody, number 99 in the Retro Toys line, the Light Bright, and this again is a super unique one. I mean, like, Funko just did such a great job with a lot of these characters, and the reason that I like this one so much is the way they did his face. Because normally they would just do the colored eyes, but they actually went above and beyond and did it so the pegs for the Light Bright are the face. It really does look amazing. The only thing that I wish that Funko did was maybe an exclusive or some sort of chase where they did a glow-in-the-dark version of the Light Bright. It's seriously a missed opportunity. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys know the Light Bright is backlit, which means all of the pegs would glow. It would have been perfect. Okay, now this next one I saved for last because it's definitely the biggest gaggle of the bunch. And now before I show you any of them, it is my Transformers collection. And I guess we'll start with the big ones here because I've got 2 10 inches, with one of them being Soundwave. And what I love about this figure is the unique feature that goes along with it where you can actually swap out the cassette tapes. They go inside of the middle there that actually pops open, and then there's 3 on the side. It's pretty cool that Funko added that. And then the other 10-inch one that I've got is even bigger. This one here was the SDCC exclusive Unicron. Look at this thing. Like, it is seriously massive, and I am such a big fan of it, especially because of all the small details with, like, I don't exactly know what they're called. Like, the pipes that go around the edges, as well as the ones, like, the horns on top. And I believe, isn't Unicron the size of, like, a universe or a planet? Something like that? I don't know. I'd have to check specifics, but he is definitely a really huge Transformer, and it's so cool to have this one in 10-inch form. All right, now let's get into the normal size figures, and I do want to show you guys these ones here because I do have two more of Soundwave. I got the normal one as well as the GameStop exclusive, and the normal one is pretty much the exact same as the 10-inch. Actually, it might be the exact same sculpt. But when it comes to the GameStop exclusive, this is the one where he's actually got the middle of him cracked, and if I'm gonna be honest, it's not that different, but I think what happened was I got the common one first, and then the exclusive one came out, so I just grabbed both. And then everybody, I've got two versions of Bumblebee with just this normal one here, the common one that you could find anywhere, and then I also got, let me see if I can grab him here, the only at Target exclusive where he's got his something extra. He's got like a little bit more going on. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, he is pretty much completely different. I don't know what, oh, why am I blanking on this? It was like maybe two different versions of Bumblebee. I'm not exactly sure. If there's a really big Transformers fan that would know what the difference is, please put it in the comment section below. Because with the common one here, he's got a blaster in his hand, but then for the exclusive, he's got like more wheels and like doors and panels on the side. Kind of cool. Then everybody, we've got this one here, Megatron. Definitely a sick figure. Like, I mean, come on guys, take a look at that. I love the red eyes on this, as well as how they made him like a complete silver metallic. And then I guess to go along with him, I've got this one here, the Metallic Optimus Prime. And this is the Amazon exclusive, and it really is too bad that they had to make this one exclusive with the metallic because they look pretty much exactly the same. If you're somebody who has both of them in the collection, I'm sure you know that they look very, very similar. Like, why even bother making an exclusive when it's just like slightly different? And seriously, the only way I can tell them apart quickly is that sticker. And now, everybody, we've got the two Funko Shop exclusives, with there being Nemesis Prime as well as Jetfire, probably my favorites out of these guys here. Oh, but then again, that 10-inch Soundwave is pretty cool, and I also really enjoy Unicron. Okay, so maybe for the normal size figures, these two here are my favorites? Yeah, I think so. Especially the Nemesis Prime, though, because I love the colors on this with the red eyes, and then he's got the Decepticon logo on both of his arms and the blaster in his hand. It's pretty unique. And then with Jetfire here, this is another really great one because he does transform from a jet, and if you look on the front, you can even kind of see the outline of it. Like, where the Autobots logo is like the front of the jet, and it seems like the wings are somewhere on here. I saw them before. Maybe they're on the back side? I think so. And so, I don't know, guys. Just a really, really cool figure to have in the collection. They sold out pretty quickly, so hey, I'm glad I was able to get them. And now, everybody, I've actually saved the craziest retro toy for last. It's another one that goes in the Transformers line. It's just a little bit different. Let me just show you guys, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I have this one here, guys. The Blacklight Battle Freddy Funko as Optimus Prime, limited to 1,500 pieces. At first, I wasn't going to include this one in the video because it doesn't actually fall under the Retro Toys line, it falls under the Funko one, but then I was thinking about it, it is the exact same sculpt as the Retro Toy Optimus Prime, so we gotta talk about it. And now when it comes to this character here, there was actually 3 different versions that released. There was this one limited to 1,500 pieces, then the metallic one limited to 500, and then there was also another 500 piece version which was Blacklight, and I so wish I could have got that. But when I was at Fun Days, my team did not win that challenge, so it's too bad, but hey, at least I still got something, which was the Summertime Freddy. I think that's the one I got. And so there you go, guys. That is my Retro Toys Funko Pop collection. I believe 40 in total. And let me know in the comment section below which one is your favorite. Because seriously, there is a lot of them. And anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow.